One. Hey, everybody, how are you doing? It is time again for a fantastic interview. My name is Jason J. Daniel. I have KANITHA MATOURY with me, and with you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me,
Uh,
Jason.
Thank you for joining me. KANITHA, you have one heck of a reputation in Oakland and beyond Oakland. You are an iconic restaurateur and a 20-year resident of Oakland, and you care about the city, and you have been campaigning for 14 months straight.
Yes, it was crazy. Quite a
Wild,
journey.
wild. Well, thank you for joining me. I wanted to. I was doing all the candidates in the elections, and I wanted to try to get you on, but it was tricky. You're very busy, as you were telling me. It's been nonstop, right? It's hard to even rest when you're on the campaign trail, and you're running a business. You're a mother. You're just everywhere. How do you balance that?
Beside having great people supporting me, we have a very good crew here at our store. A lot of our staff been here with us for a very long time, 10 plus years,
Wow.
and they are committed and they are great people. Same with the campaign. Lots of good friends, colleague, and everyone's doing their part. And I think, and very supportive. Children, ex-husband, and everyone that's been very supportive of my inspiration to try to help Oakland, beside my own personal life and everything else.
Well, we're going to say thank you to the ex-husband. Right on. We appreciate that. And to the family. That actually speaks a lot. Not everybody can have a supportive ex-spouse. I have an
Oh
ex-spouse. So
yes.
I've lived a little. I've been through that. Speaking of your staff, well, first, okay, go ahead and can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yes, well, my name is Kanitha Matori. I am a longtime business owner here in downtown Oakland, nearly 20 year. What brought me to Oakland is definitely the great weather and the diversity of people and the culture, the art. We are a very blessed city that full of artists, lots and lots of artists of all various different types of artists, not just and the fact that I had a restaurant for 14 year, I get to meet everyone and everyone.
Spice
So
Monkey. That is the
that's
coolest name.
right.
That's a cool. Okay,
Thank
good.
you.
Didn't mean
Thank
to
you.
interrupt. It's so cool.
Yeah. Spice Monkey was an inspiration of really the reflection of Oakland, which is like monkey is my sign of year of birth. I'm a monkey in the Chinese zodiac sign, I guess you would call it. I like to monkey around, have fun. The spice is representing. We use a lot of herbs and spice to make sure we cook very healthy and forward, and bringing culture together to the table. And that's like, and Spice Monkey is like the world cuisine, and at the Spice Monkey table, and then focusing on bringing people together. That was our main core idea of what Spice Monkey's all about. So we do a lot of live music, comedy shows, poetry, lots of fundraising, lots of organization have met at Spice Monkey. Um, and it was like my passion, food and music. It's everything, and people, making people happy.
That story of really, it's the story of your life of service. You have been, and we'll get into that bio. You had your bio, I have mine. Okay, I did some research. I like to do that. By the way, when you're talking about your team and you've had employees that have worked with you for years, that speaks volumes to who you are and your organization, because it's really hard to keep people that long. It really is. And I do
Yeah.
want to say, I've had an interaction with your team setting things up. They've been so kind to me. I just wanted to say that. Very professional, on top of things. And you don't always you get that with everyone, but it's been it was kind of cool even setting this up without even meeting you. I got a feel for who you are by the people that represent you. And I think that's a powerful thing.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so yeah, you're welcome. So, okay, so Oakland City Council candidate, you've run for city council at least twice, right?
Yes, for the at large and for the special election district too.
Special, right? Which just happened. Everybody is kind of the dust is settling. That was wild. So again, we talked about you being an iconic business owner. Spice Monkey Restaurant was the place to go. Live music, comedy, really great stuff. Artists, political events. You hosted tons and tons of political events there. Now you're the owner of Howden Market. Am I saying that right, Howden?
Correct, correct. Howden Market was a the sister of Spice Monkey. We opened Howden after we have Spice Monkey for 7 years. So and it's a cornutopia, I like to say, where neighbor can meet each other that they might not talk when they're out and about, but they see each other at the grocery store and they realize that they like the same bottle of wine or cheese and they get to know each other. And it's also a place for where we can highlight small maker, which is a artisan, everything from like let's say small craft wine movement, cheese, jams, cocktail, everything. We have all the best of the best.
You
You
got a
you have to come
deli?
down and visit it. Yeah, if you're local, you have to come by.
Yeah,
It's
everybody get down there right now. If you get down there and head upstairs, walk into her office, say hi to us on camera. Knock first. Yeah,
yeah,
so the
yeah.
Deli Cafe, you have produce, coffee, prepared foods, deli, organic groceries, super important. And you also do performing arts there as well, right? You have a downstairs and then upstairs. You're upstairs right now.
We do right now. We have kind of limit our prepare food program because we
Okay.
lost the restaurant, so we don't have the
Mm.
workforce that we used to. When we had the restaurant, we would have 40 people on staff at any, in the whole entire time. We would have like at least three running shift of 8 hours because it's
Wow.
mid shift, dinner shift, and early morning shift. And so we have a lot of different types of service. Right now, we don't. So we still do the only entertainment we're doing now, which is like free tasting and free education.
That's cool.
Um,
Okay, what kind of education? Is it food education?
Food
Just
sometime we'll pair it up, but mainly it's just wine, hard spirit, sometime beer, 'cause we have an 86 license and my partner is a sommelier for 35 years. So he's
oh well,
very
yay, that's
passionate.
wonderful. Wow, 35
Yeah, yeah.
years. Wow.
So we're all very much into food. I'm a chef
I was gonna say,
also.
let's get into that. I mean, by the way, I'm halfway through your bio, by the way, and there's so much to talk about. You love food, you do food reviews. Okay, really quick, we'll get into the food. You're a real estate syndicator. That's
Oh,
pretty good,
yes.
right? Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Okay, and on the personal side, which I'm just extremely intrigued by your background. I'm just really blown away. You're the daughter of Cambodian immigrants, and you're an immigrant as well. Human rights activists in the
Yes.
in the 90s in
Yes.
Cambodia. That right there, if people know that, I mean, that's unbelievable. Like what was going on when you were a child, must have been, or a teenager, I believe, during that time must have been unbelievable. I saw you mentioning that in your campaign about politics in Cambodia and what your family went through. So you are a first generation immigrant, and on top of that, Air Force veteran. What, that's wild. Now my son is an Air Force veteran. Now I know I
Oh,
look
wow.
young. He's still
Yes,
very
you
young.
are.
Yeah, he just finished doing his service. So thank you for your service. That's
Amazing.
wonderful.
Yeah.
You're a reservist. You majored in finance at San Francisco State, and you're a mother of a beautiful family. Am I missing anything?
No, no, I think you covered everything. I mean, yeah.
You're a wonderful candidate, and obviously you care about Oakland and care about the people so much. To be a restaurateur that has such a inviting atmosphere like you have to love people and you have to love food. So let's get into that. I'm super intrigued by that. So you do. I saw on Instagram you're doing like food reviews at other restaurants. So you're going to other restaurants, promoting other restaurants, and you're telling people on Instagram, "Come eat this. Come here now." You was one of the restaurants you even held up a menu. They're open till 12 or something. You're sitting
Yeah.
outside. I mean, if I was your friend and I had a restaurant or even a competitor, I would just love you. I'd be like, this is the most unbelievable thing. That is a spirit of, I guess, just collaboration, right? Like what makes you want to do commercials for other people? You just love small businesses.
Yeah. So one latest thing I wanted to mention is I am also on a board of a fine, how would you call it? They make like bed sheets and pillows and kitchen towel
Okay.
linen.
Linens. I was going to say linens.
Yeah.
You're
So
probably
so
asking the wrong dude, but I would just say linens.
oh my God, they have
I don't know the
great
difference between a hand towel
line.
and a towel and a bath towel. Just give me a towel. I'm a guy.
Oh, this company is amazing. They're out of Mexico in a city called Puebla. So I just joined. They just asked me to be on their board. It's all woman owns, woman designer, woman make. It's all organic. So that's my latest thing. And the bed sheet that they sent me was amazing. So everybody should check them out. It's called Owali. I'll send you the information. It's a great company. They just kind of starting off. They've been working for an American company for many years, but now they're ready to start their own. So I met them when I was doing some consulting work in Mexico City. These girls are very talented. So that's my latest thing. But why am I wanting to promote other business? Well, I
Yeah.
believe that small business, it doesn't matter what types of business you are, we need each other, right? Of course, I'm passionate about food, but I'm passionate about all business. It doesn't matter what it is. That's why the latest one I'm getting on to is fine fabric and linen company. I think it's really hard to run a small business, and majority of the people started off with they have a passion that they wanted to share or to do while they're making a living and growing something that is very passionate and dear to them and while making a living. And once they join the journey or they get into this journey, like myself, I love food and I opened a restaurant. You know, when I got kind of laid off from Charles Schwab and I was really young, right out of college, I said, you know what? I always wanted to be, I love cooking and I love making my friends happy. I think I should open a restaurant. You know, if I read all the book and listen to everyone, I probably won't open a restaurant because
That's one of the hardest businesses, and the barrier of entry is really high.
correct,
And
correct,
right, and the percentage of failure is like 80%, right? Something like that
correct.
in
It's
the
so
first 5 years.
hard.
Yeah,
Yes, the margin is slim and it's a
yeah.
lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. But I got into it because I love cooking so much and I love making people happy. And I said, you know, I want to spend the rest of my life just doing that.
Okay,
And
so I got to
and I
jump
realized,
in really quick. I got to tell you something. I
yeah,
am a former hairdresser. I owned a salon.
no.
Yeah. So, well, I guess once a hairdresser, always a hairdresser. I retired like 3 years ago from hair, but I had a salon in Midtown Sacramento, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I feel it. Restaurants, and it's part of the service industry, very different, but yeah, my mind was clicking when you were talking. I'm like, okay, that anxiety of being the owner, it's
Yes, the
all on you, right?
responsibility. Yes,
Okay, sorry to
everything.
interrupt, but I just had to. So you're speaking to somebody that understands.
Yeah, and I think what really got me into you know, the passion is definitely what fueled the hard day and to keep things going. But what really kind of got me into the campaign was when my dad died, and
Yeah,
I felt like, okay, all this the service doesn't seem to work. You know, everyone's keep blaming each other and you're out here just scratching your head. And it's like, well, why does it take forever to try to make a police report? Why, when every time we request something, there's no budget? Like, what is going on in there? Where is all the tax dollars going? And why the city of Oakland seems to just having so much challenge, and now we're in a deficit and everything else. So I decided to join the race because I wanted to help, and said, well, how can I help in a different level? And my father always said, being a politician, you know, and if you have a good guiding heart, you could really help peoples in life, and you can make policy that will really affect the day-to-day outcome for the regular people. And he always urged that I should become a politician. And I said, Dad, I study finance. I own I own a restaurant, a market, and I do real estate. I love making people happy through making them money and making sure they're full and fed and entertained. I don't want to be in politics. That sounds horrible.
Well, you had obviously experience you guys had when you were younger, when they were,
Yeah,
activists.
it's very
Wild, man. He was a
yeah,
he
it's
was
a
a
gift of
political
that.
prisoner,
Yes, absolutely.
and he's like,
so
"Hey, why don't
so
you? Doesn't politics look good? What do you think?" Um, so I'm.
yeah,
You said so many great things. So your father was. Is it K? Am I saying it right?
Kai Matori,
Hi,
yes.
I'm
Yes.
Kanethra. Your inspiration for you as a person. Obviously, your mother, you and your whole family, amazing. But your father was like the one who mentored you, right, and told you do service.
Well, I think he wouldn't like I wouldn't say said that he mentored me. I would said that he always tried to kind of encourage me to get into politics.
I
But the
see.
fact that I always said, well, it's literally destroyed our life. Like I was shoved on a plane with two UN came to Thailand because we were granted humanitarian protection because they were in prison. My mom was kidnapped when I was 17 years old, never come home again. And they were both fought for all kinds of different things. And I said, I would never want to do any of that. But in this journey from going into politics, what makes me so grateful is to understand the system better and to understand my father a lot better as a person
Yeah,
because I was so resentful toward him,
I
and I
can
was
understand
so
that.
angry with a lot of his choices in life. I
So,
said, "Yeah,
so you're saying your mother never came back?
yeah." My mom never came back. She was kidnapped when I was 17 years old. I was going to school here at Berkeley High.
Oh,
Both of my parents,
you had already come over as a
yeah.
refugee when that happened.
So my parent agreed to stay back in Cambodia to continue their work, and while we were granted protection under humanitarian protection, under asylum. And I actually put the piece of paper that I came to Thailand with on the website. And
Okay, yeah, I didn't see it. Wow,
yeah, it's
I went through it.
quite a
Your website is really cool, by the way. So
thank
much
you.
information. It's a really, I mean, everybody seems to have really fun websites, and it's like their personality. But I want to say I really enjoyed yours. It had all sorts of cool stuff, and I was able to learn a lot about you. And you're really great on video, by the way.
I am.
Yeah, you're really good.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Well, I had heard. Oh, you had mentioned the kidnap of your mother,
Mhm.
but I didn't know the other side of it. That's just what a tragedy. Like, wow. So you're over here, and you get a phone call, or how did you find out?
Yeah. So my dad. It's my life story. Is almost sounds like a crazy movie. So apparently she was kidnapped, ransomed for money. They exchanged money on the Mekong River, and but still my mom never came home.
So
And
they
she
paid
they
the ransom. Wow.
correct. They paid a ransom. They came to the hospital, and they apparently, from what I heard, because I was here going to school, that
Yeah.
they said that they have some meeting that she needs to attend to, and then she left the hospital and she just never came back. And they sent like an earring and a picture of her to my dad and said they demanded a lot of money. I don't remember how much. And they said, come with cash and we're going to exchange the money on the Mekong River. There's a boat that will come. And apparently they did all that, but my mom still never come. Yeah. So it was like, all these, you're talking about corruptions and craziness. Yes, I lived through that.
So people, so Oakland's like it's a cakewalk. This is, we'll get into it, but this is the most bananas I've ever seen. It's wild. Like it's the corruptions of it, and then the news story just came out that the mayor Sheng Tao shouldn't have ever been qualified to be on the ballot. that's been proven. That came out this weekend. So
Yeah.
so you're
Well,
so
I mean,
well, so I was gonna
it's
say,
questionable, right? With a lot of different things.
yeah,
Like,
it's there's so much going on, and that's why when I see you and your personality, you're very positive. It's infectious. It's kind of cool, you
mhm.
know. There are people that get really dark with it, right? Because it's like super serious to everybody. I'm like, well, okay, I get it. I mean, unless you're looking at 95 in the slammer, that's serious. Everybody, we're all cool. I mean, we're copacetic, but still, there's some major problems. Now, I want to get back to your father really quick. So, after all of that, that is one hell of a story, clearly. So, you're over here doing your education, doing your thing. Now, in 1992, people need to understand the UN human rights came in to Cambodia and tried to settle things after what was a 4-year war or something.
Correct. It's
And
Civil
then the
War. Yeah.
Khmer Rouge had
Genocide.
been 10 years before had been doing this reign of terror campaign against the people. It's unbelievable. Tons of
Hmm.
movies done about it. I mean, obviously, I'm just from what I've read, and so your father at the time was put in jail. You said because he was an activist for human rights, right?
Yeah. So he served from, of course, I was very young that
Yeah.
back then, but he served under four different regimes since his 20. I think he started when Lun Nol is in where he's kind of like the army guys who's
Mhm.
like was put in charge by the king, a military like soldier leaders, and then there's like all different regime that comes through, and then there's like that whole guerrilla jungle, which is
Yeah.
like the Khmer Rouge that kind of took
It's Pol
over,
Pot, right?
and started like this whole genocide situation. That was kind of a dark civil war for
Yeah. It was Civil War.
Cambodia.
Yeah.
And then my dad served on all the different regime and then came out of there. And then when there was, they're trying to install the democracy in Cambodia with the UN and the peace accords in Paris, he wanted to also give kind of fought for that right for people to be able to vote and, have their right. His human rights still standing today in Cambodia. They're still there. So
That's unbelievable. So I think that was what's it, the Paris the Accords like 91, something like that, 1990, and
yeah.
that opened the door for a lot of changes. That was the beginning of trying to rebuild the country. I was
Mhm.
reading that during that time that Cambodia had the most, I guess, civilian population that were injured by landmines in like human history, like the
Yeah.
most disabled. Yeah, it was just unbelievable. Uh, that's just unbelievable. So yeah, that's well that's pretty deep. We got deep for a second there.
Yeah,
Okay,
war
so
is very destructive, I
yeah,
mean, it
yeah,
is really sad. And it's still happening today
yeah.
everywhere. It
So
just
so many places. Yeah, we sit here and we have nice things and we have life is stressful at times, but we do have to be thankful. I agree with that. So kind of we'll segue to your positive personality. It's infectious. So when I was going through your campaign website and then finding things that weren't your website but people supporting you, they all seem like really happy. Just really like very happy to support you. And then when I would see you with people, you're just cracking jokes, right? But then you're serious. You had a really great joke about the $75,000
oh,
trash guy.
I'm glad you got that. Some people are like, what are you talking about?
It made me laugh really. It made me laugh really hard. I was like, "What the?" It was really
you,
funny.
you got the
Sorry.
joke, right? It's so
Yeah,
funny.
really.
It's like,
Our trash. So you're looking at and that's really, I think that's how you beat it. I think that's how you beat the negativity and the corruption is you just laugh and go, we can be better. We can find a way to be positive because I think the worst part about corruption and politics is it just takes the hope out of people. It makes people feel like, well, what are you going to do about it? There's nothing to do, right? We can't touch it. It's a monopoly.
mhm.
These people have it locked down. They can be indicted and all these things and still survive, right? Like
Hmm.
essentially, any people don't realize if someone's in political office and they get in trouble, the city has to be there, pay for their lawyer. Like
Yeah.
like local governments and state governments have so much protections for people that are involved in corruption. There are people in other councils throughout the nation. I keep track of all this stuff, of course, and there's still people indicted. They're still getting paid, and they're on council. So
That's right. That's right.
where's this really? Where's your sense of humor, your sense of hope come from? Because I think humor is connected to hope.
Yeah.
Where does that come from for you? Why are people in? Why do people like want to support you and they're like infected by your energy?
Well, I think it's come from experience a lot of loss in my life and a lot of change. And I realized that the only things that is constant is change. You can count on change for changing. That's for sure. And
Speaking
everything
my
else,
language. I like you.
yeah, it's
That's what I think.
it's like yeah. I mean, and but people are scared of change, and as you can see, the result from the voting is like what's shocking to me, for example, like the Measure A, that's passed by like 65%. That's
I
like
was
self.
shocked too. I was like, what?
Yeah,
60% said take my money.
correct. I mean, like exactly, like
They're racist.
that's like instant. Like for example, you go out and get a cup of coffee, you pay more immediately, right? And your day to day life, I mean, it's now just gone up.
When I got a couple of pennies in my change, they always go, "You want to keep it?" I'm like, "Give me my pennies, man. I can use that. A penny saved." I don't know. I'm that guy. Or
Yeah,
here's
yeah,
your tip. No, actually, I tip well. Just kidding. I tip very well because I'm an extra. Look, when you're a hairdresser,
yes.
when you're in the service, you tip big. That's important. There's a tip for you guys. We tip big. So, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I got excited. You were just talking about
No,
hope.
no, it's important to tip well, to tip when people who take care of you,
Yeah.
and everything. It should be service forward and everything. So if
Oh,
you
you were
can just
talking about.
come.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You were talking about the tax measure. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just talking about how like we are not a voter or just voting in not their best interest at all, and
Yeah.
it's amazing to kind of like it's almost shocking to see all of that, like the result, and you just kind of like everyone wants change, but they don't want change. That's it's like we want change. We're not happy with the current situation, but we're gonna vote exactly the same, kind of the same, like pretty much
It's
the same. So.
yeah. I don't understand. I understand it, but I don't. I just.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
Now analyzing campaigns, you can always go, okay, people could do this or that better, but in some cases, when you're a good candidate, when you're a capable, like for example, you are a capable candidate. You have a fantastic resume. You have a wonderful reputation. You're very passionate. You've lived a little, right? You've run a business. You've gone through tremendous catastrophic business loss and bounced back. But then there are people that they're electing are completely like void of experience, even close to someone like you. I don't understand.
Yeah, well, me too. I was asked a lot on the campaign trail. Said, well, you run a small business, or you had a grocery store, and you have a restaurant. How are you going to be able to be a council? I said, well, actually, if I never go outside of my career or what I studied, then I'll just become a banker. Like I'll just stick to finance.
They
Like,
want you to sit
but
around and play video games all day and be available to take phone calls. I mean, what? You're supposed to be working. What the what? You work
yeah.
too hard. Hey, you work too hard. You probably shouldn't run anything important. Are you kidding me? It just
Yes, but what they don't understand is that it's like exactly what you just said. Like you want people, the council. For me, I think the council should have live a little, have going through a lot of like different trial and tribulation, and not just reading from a textbook or just heard about it. Oh, work in someone's office, right, and see it all, and but kind of like never really run anything or put it in action, because you are making decision on behalf of a lot of people's lives and livelihoods and a lot of decision So you have to make sure that it's not a test and trial. It's not like you're doing a master program and you just kind of like write it on a paper, read it. It's very different. So you definitely want a balanced person who have made a lot of mistake and also have done a lot of different things, success and failure, both in both world, which I have done. Um, and someone who have that, I believe, that coming from the outside,
Yeah.
versus like working the city hall for so many years or the same, because I think especially the council seat or the voice of the people should come from the outside, because your ears are not so full already with agenda of what you're supposed to be doing, or you're in debt to someone else that got you into the office in the first place.
Yeah, the fact that people are after everything that went down, and there are people still there that were involved in all sorts of shenanigans, blows me away. It's and now obviously it would take for you, or someone that's very busy doing, and you're employing people and you're doing, great things,
Mm.
busy family. It is your sacrifice. Sure, there's a sacrifice to run, right, and a sacrifice to serve, and running is very different than serving. Some people are really
Correct.
good at running, really terrible at serving. So tell me about the personal toll it's taken on you to have a 14-month long campaign. Most people aren't even married for 14 months, okay? They don't even go to the same restaurant for 14 months. They don't even have the best same friends. You committed to a campaign for 14 months, two campaigns back to back, after controversy in the first one. And then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, let's get into a special election, which is super tough. And I just, how are you doing now? Like, what are you doing to decompress, and tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, it was a lot. It was a lot. It took a lot of money. My own, I donate quite a bit to my own campaign. Not as much
Sure.
as like some people, but I like to think that it was takes a lot, especially in this really hard time right now, and what's going on in our cities, and the volatility of just at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level, and adding on top of that is just a civil unrest, and on top of everyone's mind. And I think the time, that personal time that I have to sacrifice with everything else. But it was a great passion. Like my campaign, it said "Love where you live." It
Yeah.
was me. It's a calling to invite people to really just water the ground they stand on, and to join me to say, hey, we love our city, and we want the best. We want the better outcome, and we're going to stand together and fight for that. So yeah, for me, I owe everything to all the people who have stand by me, all my partners, all my friends and staff, my two beautiful teenage daughter, and my ex-husband who I was married to for 20 years. It's
Wow.
just like
Again, hats off to the ex-husband.
the
Thank
long
you,
life
my friend.
commitment. Yeah, yes, and I mean, we everybody have a duty. My
Yeah.
partner who makes sure the stores and the staff who making sure that every regular will make sure to have their favorites is stocking on shelf, because we are customer service oriented, right? Where
Yeah.
if you don't have the right thing, people are not going to come back.
They won't come
And
back.
yeah, they won't come back. And you're in the service business. I mean, this is what the city of Oakland should be focusing on: service, and that's its main product, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I
So,
think,
so with that said, I haven't have much time to really just kind of take back. I just been kind of catching up in my personal life. Like for example, I have two property that I have to refinance because the loan is mature. So I've been talking to a lot of bank,
well, so that's what you do in your personal time. Sounds like fun.
writing a lot of pro forma.
Wow. Ooh, wow. Wow. Are you going to mow some
See,
lawns
I
for
would have
free?
been
Help
a great
people out?
negotiator for the city of Oakland
You should just
for
walk in.
all
You
that
know what?
budget deficit.
You should just walk in. What's going to stop you? They do whatever the hell they want in there anyway. You should just go grab a desk.
That's so
So
funny. That's so funny. Go grab it, yes.
one of your jokes was you're like,
Yeah.
look at this car. What do you remember that Instagram video? You were there. Look at this car.
Yeah.
Imagine this is your car. It's a wreck. Now imagine this is City Hall. It's a wreck. It
That
was,
was funny.
but you know what? I remembered it. It's just it's brilliant stuff. You're
Thank
a
you.
real natural marketer. Um,
Well,
so
it's the truth. I'm just speaking the truth.
it is so true. So you're gonna are you gonna go on vacation, do anything like that? Take a break from like trying to be a business. You're a natural entrepreneur. I get it. I'm the same way. I can't stop. I can't stop.
Oh.
I'm doing all these projects and what are you gonna take? You gonna go see a sporting event? Do something like
Oh, I
that?
did. I did. One of my good friend Jamie took me to see the Laker. No, not the
Ooh,
Laker. The Warrior. The Warrior
the
play
Warrior.
on my
Okay,
birthday.
one of the playoff games or just recently? They're in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, on the April 26th, which is
Oh, okay.
they won
That's a good
against
game.
yeah, that was a really good game. And she
Now, are
got
you?
us the floor ticket. It was
Ooh,
like amazing experience.
yeah. Being on the floor for an NBA game it's crazy, especially a team
Yeah.
like that and the playoffs. Are you a basketball fan? Was that the first time or?
Well, I am a basketball fan, but I don't watch every game, or I'm just too busy. But I love
No
going
kidding.
to enjoy a game with my friend.
Now
Yeah.
I'm a WNBA fan, and so there's a new franchise. The Valkyries are in the Bay Area, so I'm really excited to get out to see some Valkyrie games. That's going to be real fun.
Wow.
Okay, yes, I know. I love all sports. I'm really excited. We're getting back into football. Um, so you were there's a subject I want to bring up with you. You've had a lot of terrible things, a lot of catastrophe, but you've turned terrible things into terrific things. How do you do that? What's the thing that you can tell people? Because there are people watching this can learn from you. I mean, you're this is an amazing moment, and I want to try to get some of this knowledge from you for the folks that are watching. How do you turn something terrible into terrific?
Well, I love Dr. Seuss. It's there's a quote by him or one of his book or something that I always remember. It's not what it seems it is. Like I don't think I said it exactly what it is, but it's like he's saying that pretty much like whatever it is it's not what you see what it is. It's
Mm.
whatever you want to create it out of and what you want to make it out of. So I try to channel that energy, and I think that if life is meant to be adventure, and everything that we go on this adventure is meant for us to learn something from it and to make something better from what it is. So it doesn't matter if it's hard or easy, it's supposed to teach you something, and it's an adventure. So every day we get to play, you know we don't it's like almost like a privilege, and you get to do it and you get to experience it, and sometimes the experience not as what you wanted, and it's not as pleasant. But again, like giving birth, it's not a enjoyable ride.
That's what they tell me. I've had a few. I mean, I've been there for three, and that was wow. You know what? That
Mentally stressful.
I had to go see a therapist after the first one. I was I was 24. I had my first one at 24.
Oh
He's
wow, you were a baby.
I was a baby. Yeah. Now my son now is way past that. He's like not even thinking about it. Yeah. Okay. So I like what you're saying. Yeah. Like yes, having that's a great. It's a real great way to put it. Birthing something. Um, so let me take you back to a moment where you went through something very
Mm.
catastrophic with Spice Monkey. I'm sorry, Howden. Howden.
Oh yes.
So it was the summer, right, of 2021. Let me take you
Yes.
back. You had
Yes.
just got home around 6:30,
Yes.
settling in, had a great day, summer in Oakland, and you get a phone call, a terrifying phone call. And what do they tell you?
Yeah, a car inside a market. I thought it was a joke. I was like, what?
You're laughing about it. You're like, you're kidding me. Is that what you thought it was a joke?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you have a car inside in the middle of your market. You're like, what? The car
What
in the
kind of
middle of
friends do you
market?
have that they call you up and pull that kind of joke on you? What the hell? What do you? What?
Yeah, it's my partner. He calls me. He's like, you better get down to your market. There's a car in the middle of the market. I'm like, what? He's like, it's not a joke. I'm like,
He's like, so okay, so you
yeah,
so a
it was.
guy from Stockton in a Mercedes Benz just rolls right into your storefront, and it's just not any normal storefront. I mean, it's an iconic, beautiful storefront. You've got this incredible lettering, huge windows. Boom! Explodes through it, goes through the entire market to the back, right, and hit I guess the marble backstop there.
It
Got
rolled
all through
into the
back.
deli area. Yeah, so it's kind of hit sideways and it come to the deli area where we have a deli section back then, which I took it out now. But yeah, yeah, I think he just lost control because he have a bottle of Don Julio right on the dashboard.
So you're like, he could have lost control because he was reaching for the Don Julio on the desk. That's where you should put it. Actually, if you're gonna drink and drive, just go all out. Just so he overcorrects, goes right into your market where you're now there now, and one of your employees was right there, seeing that car come towards.
Yeah, she ran and ducked, and then that's what kind of saved her because everything was coming crashing. It
Yeah, she could have gotten
was
seriously
crazy.
hurt.
Yeah, she's so actually the person who still with me, Pam. She's an elder lady. She would have been hurt because she can't move as fast. But Hope, she's one of our chef at the restaurant. She's sub in because Pam have to go on vacation to go to Florida to visit her family.
Wow.
So good thing Pam wasn't there. It's almost a miracle moment.
Yeah.
No one was in the store. Ananda was on the second floor.
Right.
Hope was around the corner. The customer just walked out. My daughter and I just pulled out of the same spot that the guy drove. Like we would have been T-bone. We
Yeah.
just literally pulled out. It was a miracle moment that no one was hurt. It was amazing. That just like, and it was such a blessing that no one was hurt. Just like if you watch the movie on the the replay, it's just like you just watch how the customer going out. Hope just come around.
Oh, you mean the
I
video that captured it?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. And the kid was like, said, Mom, we got to go home. It's late. I don't want to go to the store. So I'm pulling out and I'm calling the store to say, hey, I'm not coming in today. And Ananda, my partner, go up to the second floor because he left his phone on the second floor, or else he would have been hit because he was standing right there.
Good
Isn't
thing
that
he's phone
crazy?
addicted. The phones are good for something.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's so wild. And from that, again, like every single thing, what I learned that we need a lot of help in the law system. It took
Yeah.
Pamela Price at that time 11 months to release a police report on the person who drinking and driving. He got out, took off his pants, started drinking Sprite, and he said he had glass in his pants. It was a craziness. It was just
So,
like,
so he has the audacity to crash into your store and then pops his pants off
yeah, and
and
he
then
picked up a
starts drinking
soda
a
and
free
started
Sprite.
drinking, and he said, "Oh
You
my
know what?
goodness."
You can crash to my store. You can take your pants off, but do not drink my Sprite for free. That's what I was told that guy. He crossed the line right there.
Yeah, but yeah, it took 11 months to get a report on him,
Now,
and
on
we're
top of
still
that, they
dealing with that.
canceled your insurance, right? Like you went through all sorts of chaos.
Uh,
So you
yeah,
went through a huge catastrophic business loss. Like how and I read that you had written a blog on it and you had said, you went, you cleaned up, everybody pulled together, nobody was hurt, thank God. You board and then you go home and you're like, it sets in. Oh my God, my
yeah.
business has been destroyed by some lunatic who can't drink and drive right and takes his pants off.
Drive
So,
right.
so if you're gonna drink and drive, do it right. So hit the other guy's store. So so it hits you, and but you wake up the next morning. You're like, we're doing this. Like, how did you get the spirit to bounce back and recover?
Well, first of all, we got a lot of support. All the staff, came to work still. We were all cleaning the store together. I became kind of like, how do you call it, interim person who like have to turn in so many paperwork, become
Yeah,
almost like an CPA, forensic CPA. You got to turn in every little piece of paper to get refund. Good thing I have some saving that we were able to open back 11 month. It was during COVID. I don't know if you remember the aluminum shortage. It took forever to order all the front door frames and everything.
no way. Okay, wow. So
Yeah,
on top of that, you had supply chain issues. And then he
correct.
destroyed all sorts of fine wines as well. Like he ran through all sorts of inventory too, right?
Correct. We have a lot of inventory that was not
Yeah.
recoverable.
And that's right. That goddamn you
Yeah,
took
so
right.
we have to pretty much put everything back together, and it was it wasn't easy, but it was quite an experience. I felt like I got to rebuild the store all over again.
So
Um,
did you have kind of fun with that? Like as a creator, let's rock. Let's reinvent this a little bit.
yeah, well, I mean, I literally have changed my store so many different versions just to combat with all kinds of time in terms of the crash, in terms of like economy's downturn, pivoting concept and all kinds of stuff. So we did have some fun redesigning the store. We have to take out the deli because we don't have the service. So I went ahead and just take out the deli. Of
Okay.
course, PG&E went up like 200%.
Of
So
course.
we had to take out some refrigerator. So, and that was a good um, chance to do that and kind of reposition all the equipment because some of them wasn't even working because the car crashed into it and it was got water damage. What wine damage? It was so much wine. It was went into the compressor.
Wine damage.
The compressor got drunk. No, it won't work again.
So it sounds like you now looking back, it's pretty funny, but I'm sure you had fun trying to clean it up, and you're
Oh,
like, hey, nobody got hurt. Your friends are okay. And then Pam was in Florida,
yeah,
so
Pam was in
Pam was
Florida.
living it up. She's safe. So you picked yourself up, and so I guess one of the things you did was you found
Yeah,
a way to be creative, and you rebooted everything. You repurposed things, right? You used your resources, and with supply chain issues, you used the little resources you had, and you got a lot out of them. And then
correct,
you
correct.
cut
Yeah,
costs, right? You cut costs. And I'm
yes,
going somewhere with this. It's kind of like what Oakland should do. And that's where
that's
I'm going
right.
with this. Someone like you who has bounced back and recovered from this catastrophic bit, not just this, but Spice Monkey is struggling during the pandemic, right? Then that was like your baby, let's be honest, right? I mean, when I had a salon, it was personal. Like what happened to that building was personal. When I wasn't there, I had cameras and things, and not all the time. And I had a manager I trusted, and it was personal. What happened there, I took really personal.
Yeah,
And and
yeah.
so how did you so was when you were rebuilding it, is that how you were lifting your spirits and seeing it come back together and then people coming back in? So you were closed for 11 whole months?
Yes.
Wow, that's a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you when it was time to reopen, were your customers like, boom, we're here, or was it like a slow trickle? Because you're right there downtown. People are seeing this, right? They,
Yeah.
so not only is it you're closed, but people are seeing that you're closed, or they're seeing you rebuild. Like you're not just in some, smaller hidden spot in Oakland. You're like in a prominent area, still paying rents
Yeah.
and all those things. And wow. So you obviously had money saved, you said earlier, which is important.
Mhm.
And then you probably had to get loans and things like that, what business people do. I'm just guessing. Um, so when did you know you were open? When did you know you were ready?
So I think it's important, like what you just said, hope, right? We talked a little bit about that earlier. I think the fact that we were very engaging people while we're closing. For example, we put a GoFundMe page
That's
and
right.
get people to donate. And for every single person who donate, we put their names up. And if you come to the store now, on the side of the building, we have a picture of a car and a bunch of people's name. Like it doesn't matter if they donate $5, $10, or $20, or $200. We put all their names, so you will see hundreds of people's name all over the side of the building when you come.
That's cool.
Um, for example, the front door. We realized it took us months to get the custom aluminum door order. So we put, and people would like graffitis and tagging it up. So I would say, well, this
On
is not cool.
on top of that,
It's
you
not
get tagged at
beautiful.
night. Oh my god!
And then, so what I did is I got a bunch of female artists to do a mural
Oh,
on
that's
the
cool.
front door, and it's all like grocery theme. And you probably can Google it online, and you'll see how the mural. You see a bunch of like we would put them in stages. Like first day, this was painted, and second day this was painted. Different character of artists would come through doing different skits, and we have some fun with it. And I think that was very important. And then we would post like, look, now we have the wood frames up. The next day we would be like, look, finally a door show up. And the next day we'll be like, oh, now we installing plant, like. And
That's
I think
cool.
that kind of like that hope that we're constantly repivoting and reinventing keep people very engaged. So when we open, people were so like ready to like, okay, we got to come and support Howden, right? Because we gave them $10, $20, trying to go through this whole thing together. We've been waiting, and we open it up more beautiful than ever. We have like these live plant installation that's like high in the ceiling, that's draping down. Um, we always have the best selection of curation of any types of everything from snack to wine to
That,
whatever you want. Um,
that's
we
that's
have it.
cool.
We have a little of everything. We have dog leash for the dog. Like we have all kinds of random things, and I think people people like that. They're
They
entertained
do.
by that kind of like, okay, what's next there? There is hope that they're gonna come back and they're gonna be stronger than ever. Like we are very blessed with great loyal customer. We call it the Cool Kid Club, which is like when you come to shop at the Howden, you give your phone number, you can like point, and every time you hit 100 point, we give you back 5%, and
That's
200
cool.
we give you 10%, and people loves that. And or we said, okay, tonight we're gonna do a tasting on like the finest Armagnac, but we're gonna only take 25 people, and if you're a club member, you have to sign up, and once 25 people it's done, then it's done, right? So that kind of hope, fun, scarcity, always exciting. This is what we kind of kept this business. I've been here 18 years now in this location, in this corner here, and
Hmm.
I think it wasn't because I was the best chef in the world to keep a running restaurant for 14 years or a grocery store or anything like that. I think I just listen to my customer and I give them what they want, and I give them something called service,
Yeah.
right? And that's like, for example, there's a woman who wants to entertain her friend, and she said, I want a case of wine and I wanted to spend $25 and give
That's
me
a hot
whatever
date
you
right
think,
there.
right? So
She
I
knows
would
how to
give
party.
her a random bottle of everything I like, and then I would discount to make sure everything is $25. Even if some of them it would be a couple dollar more, a couple dollar less. But at the end of the day, this is called service,
That's
right? She doesn't
cool.
have to think about it. And this is what we do here in my business. And that's what I was trying to advocate for the city of Oakland. It's like how do you pay attention to your customer and provide them the products called service, so people want to come and do business here, to visit here, um, to live here, because these are all investment, right, that people are going to choose to do.
Yeah. Where
So
are they going to live? Where are they going to put their money?
mhm.
That's an incredible story. Now I have an idea. You could have done a free Sprite night.
right?
Just saying that would have been turning something terrible into terrible. I'm never going to look at a Sprite the same way again, and it's on video. So, but segue,
Yeah.
we're at about an hour. Do you have a few more minutes?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
For me, you give me 5. Thank you.
Thank
Really
you.
quick. So the crime epidemic is affecting small business. You've really talked heavily about that. How can Oakland overcome that? Bringing all the
Um,
small business people together, because now you guys have to do it. The cops aren't going to do it. And no disrespect, but you know.
we're gonna create a new bounty hunter.
I mean, then what's with everybody running their cars through businesses? Now, yours was unique because it was a drunk driver, but there are people intentionally running cars in these businesses and stealing things and not
Yes.
not giving a damn if there's anybody there in the way. Like someone's going to get murdered doing this. So
Yeah,
what can they do?
we've been robbed too. But the guy who came in here is he's so classy. He actually bring an electric saw and he would saw off the change, and then he saved the saw. He saved the change. He took the change and put it in his trunk, and then he tried to jack the door. But we have something called the fire pin drop. So it's like the hole that we drop the pin. So it's really hard to yank the door off.
Yeah.
And then it was too hard. So he gave up. He said, never mind. So he got the change. It was like, I don't know, $50 or something. But you can
Well,
watch him do the whole thing. It's kind of interesting.
so obviously you have cameras out front. You're watching these people do. They don't care. That's the thing. They don't care
Yeah,
for the camera. They're posing for the camera. They don't give a damn.
correct. It's just wild, And then
And there's the
there's
police are overwhelmed and understaffed, and they're not handling petty crimes, right? So
no, yeah. I have friends in the police department. They said, they got the A and B and C tier. So
mhm.
if you're like the C, they have so many A and so many B, they're never gonna get to the C. And you're like, you're never gonna see the cop until like 3 days later or something.
Oh, so you have to, as a business person, you have to fend for yourself. What do you do at this point to protect yourself from crime, other than the cameras and having a good attitude? Having
Purchase a
fun with it.
gun. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, there's that. I mean, honestly, like, this is people's livelihoods. Like you were in a position where you had the resources, somewhat. You had the intellectual ability, you had the wherewithal, you had the passion to,
Mm.
to get it going. Like I wrote this quote down. You said that was pretty crazy. I wanted to show you. You said, I couldn't bring myself to give up on Oakland or my dreams. When you were, that's a quote that you, I believe, wrote in the blog, or at least one of the media. You've been in the media a lot, by the way. To all of them watching, you are an iconic presence there in the business community. So not everybody's like that, though. Like how, if you're a small business person and you're on the fence, like what advice would you give them to not give up on their dreams?
Yeah, well, I would say keep on going. And, I think we need to fight back. We need to push back. We are the one who I talks a lot about, protect your tax base. And I think that policymaker or government or anybody's in the elected official, they should work very hard to widen their tax base and not tax the people more, right? And the tax base, all the business. These people are waking up every day, grind away, doing their passion, and making sure that those guys stay survive and incentivized to continue to be there to collect taxes on behalf of the city of Oakland and to keep people employed, to keep the street from being blight, to pay all the fees and compliant, all kinds of things. So these need to be protected. So I think that the business owner have a lot more power than we actually think we can. Like, a lot of people like what you said, like, oh, we can't do anything. Why bother? It was a lot of that. And when I was camping the first round, there was a lot of pushback and a lot of like people don't want to put my picture on their window, even though
Yeah.
I'm like the only person who a small business. Everyone talks about saving small business, but I actually own small business and run small business.
Nobody
And that's
talks
the
about it
difference.
like you. That's what really impressed me. You really care.
Yes, and I think that more than ever, I think small business need to push back and need to hold the line, need to hold accountability and said, hey, we are here as a tax contributor. We are here vested in the city. We protect the city. We clean the city. We do a lot of different things, just like, you know, City Hall does. We pretty much paid for a lot of things. So why not hold things accountable? And I think this is more than ever. I think that if all my small business colleague could get the message, we gotta stand up together. We gotta hold the line. We gotta demand things, and we need to be more how do you call it, supportive of one of another.
Yeah, like you do. You know, the commercials you do and going out and promoting food. Like, was it Mia? Is it Mia in Jack London Square?
Oh yeah, the taco place.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. You're like, okay. Well, no, I think it was the Minuto.
menudo. Yeah, menudo.
And
Yes.
you were like, okay, it's got cow. You're like going through it, and it's got cow stomach. Now I know
Yes.
you think this is crazy, but it's really good for you. That just made me laugh. I was you were just but yeah, just like that. Like you bring joy to food. You bring joy to another person's business. You know that is.
Mhm.
I have to tell you, whenever I had people come into my salon and do education or just bring stuff for my staff, and there was another person, it really like warmed my heart. It made us powerful. It
Yeah.
did. Like it made us like collaborate. Like we would have random people come in like from down like when we moved in, you know, and I took the salon over. You know, we had people coming in. How are you? We're down the street, right? Because there's like you, there's all these markets or restaurants. There's all these salons, right? And you get to know each other, and you could tell when people are there to really get to know you and support you. And then later on, we did things together, right? We had shows together. We traveled, and
Yeah.
that is you are that's a great way to put it. You're generating revenue by generating synergy. Ultimately
Correct.
you're going to make
That's a
money.
good one.
Yeah,
Yes, synergy. Bring the synergy. Bring the energy together. Be positive. Yeah, that's like Pierre, you were talking about earlier with me that, the restaurant that got shot up in the Tribune Tower. I
that's
mean, these
right.
guys
Yeah.
are like, they are so passionate about food, and they want to create this like high end experience, and it's really sad that that happened to them. And now again, it makes people scared to go to downtown and
Yeah.
shop and dines, and these are not positive, and we need to really get it under control. I mean, more than ever, we need to say, you know when crime is committed, it's not tolerated, and it's that simple, and it start there, right? I mean, like, you know being in the service, it makes me understand something. When you're signing up with an armed forces, when you get an order, it has to be clear order, right? You don't question the command of chief and said, "Well, we have to go to war," and then everyone question, is it the right war, is the wrong war, and which end should we go, right? You listen for the command of execution and you execute. But when all the boss are not on the same page and nobody's agree on anything, then of course, your command of chief or your army, your police, they're just going to stand by and say, well, we don't get a clear order. So therefore, and that's what's going on in the police department. I feel like there's just a lot of not everyone on the same page. And at the end, the people are suffering
Yeah, it's
because of the
called
crime.
losing. That's how
Yeah.
you lose as a community when
Mhm.
the businesses can't make money and can't serve people, can't provide things. People want to
Mhm.
spend money. You just have to give them a really good reason to do it. You know, when we
Correct.
were, you have high end things, you have low end things. One of the things in the pandemic that put a lot of business salons out of business was people couldn't afford it because, but some people could, but they needed a reason to. They needed to feel like I'm getting great value out of that. Also, they need to make sure, hey, that business is going to be there next week, right?
Yes,
Especially when it
exactly.
comes to a hairdresser or a barber or a restaurateur. Like I go to the same places I love because I can just go and I don't have to think about it. I know the food is going to be nutritious. I know I'm going to have a good time, and if I'm going to see you and or your team, it's going to be fun. Like I would have fun with you, right? Like so, I'm sure there are customers that just enjoy seeing you, and that's the experience.
Yeah.
We all need the human experience, and I think that the politics, from what I've seen, are just so dark that there's just so much separation. That's why I really loved seeing you and Lauren. I'll just say, collaborate. you were very strong in supporting him, and he's supporting you, and other candidates. And then I interviewed a number of the mayoral candidates. They all were doing. They did a comedy show together, which was hilarious. So there that spirit that you guys all have should get to the people, and it's tough when the media and all, and that's why we're doing this. I want
Yeah,
to get you guys out and have fun and say, hey, it's not everybody's going to jail for 95 years, or not everybody's indicted. Whereas some people are normal running for council, because you look at it seems like everybody's getting indicted, or they're doing wild stuff. But
yeah.
I could do this forever, and man, you have really made my night. Thank you. We're
Thank you.
over an hour, so I'm going to give you your time back. I know you got a lot of
Thank you.
paperwork to do, which you love doing that. So I'm not going to stop that. But I got one last question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think about running for mayor? Think about it. Now, I told you to relax, I know, but there's another cycle coming up. You never know. I'm just putting it out there. I think it might be food for thought.
Yes, yes. Only if you knock door with me.
I would. I will commit to you. If you run, okay, for mayor, I will do. I will go out and do a day or two with you. That'll be fun. We'll do some. We'll go to some restaurants too.
That's right.
Yeah,
We gotta hit the restaurant. Those are the fun for sure. Yes.
I'm not trying to start rumors, but I just feel like if you're gonna keep going, I mean, now you're not stopping politics, are you?
I feel like now that there's that saying, now once your eyes are open and your ears are open, you can just you see too much and you know too much. It's almost like what do you do with that now? It's and in a way I have this like conflicted situation where I'm just kind of like, oh gosh, I have so much that I need to focus on my own life,
That's
right?
true.
And that's the selfish side of me kicking in. And
Well,
there's
I mean, it's been 14 months of you putting your life on hold. I can completely understand, because you're trying to beat the clock, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And then you meet people, you have ideas, it's hard to sleep because you got all these things going on.
Yeah, yeah, and in politics, it's like what I learned is also like you either have to come from the political world, and you have to have people who in that political world who wants to support you to be in that, or you're born in it, or you have a lot of money. You have to have a lot of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, you have to, or you can break the wheel by being like so unique that your message resonates. But you still
That's
need the
true.
other things.
That's true.
See, I
But
think your message is a mayoral message personally, because when I was going through like your website is so great, and then obviously I saw what people were doing, and I've met I met a number of the candidates this time. But if you're not in a special election and you have time to maybe run in a regular cycle, you never know. I just feel like maybe your message is a larger, broader message, that might be not. I just think it's nice to have different options for people. But then again, you have Lauren could run again. You never know him. He's a great human, and that's important. You're both are great people and great humans, um,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that
he was awesome. Also, I got to know
I
him
know
pretty well.
I never got a chance to interview him, and I wanted to talk to him about. I mean, I'm sure I'll meet him one day and get a chance to ask him some questions. But he's just been like you, been through some traumatic stuff, like catastrophic things that he bounced. I mean, crazy stuff. He
Yeah.
bounced back, and so I can see why people and you and others really supported him. But I just thought I'd ask you, since I had you. Hey, think about it.
Well, thank you for planting the seed.
Surprise. Well, my pleasure. So I will take a moment to say thank you again for an incredible time tonight. I want everyone to know that you gave of your time to speak with me and to get your message out and to speak to the folks. So folks have voted for you. Is there anything you want to say to them while we have them? They're going to watch this.
Yes. Well, I wanted to say thank you for their vote and support, and some of my, the people who endorse me. They gave me a lot of inspiration to continue fighting for a better Oakland. And I will continue to pushing the ball forward. And like what I said, and I think I addressed this on my emails and stuff. Yes, I think Oakland is the city that I have spent a lot of my time here and gave birth to my daughter here. It's a very special city, and I think that it deserves better. And it's for sure. And we can do this together. And I think that we can't give up hope, and we have to have faith.
I like that. Don't give up hope, guys. And thank you. I'm putting your graphic up so they can see where to follow you. But if they Google your name, you're everywhere. So many great videos on Instagram. They should follow you on Instagram. If
Thank
they
you.
want to connect with you on ideas, I know that you'll speak to them. And they should go visit you downtown and say hi, and get a dog leash. They should go get a dog leash for the dog out there.
And some socks. We got cool socks too. Funny socks.
Exhaust. See, you got it all.
And
Kanitha,
wine. Everything. We got everything.
Kanitha MATOURY, thank you so much. And you have a
Thank you,
fantastic
Jason.
night. And we're going to sign off. And I would say thanks to everybody for watching. Follow me and follow her. And we appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Thank you.
Bye, Jason.
Bye. Take
Thank
care.
you. Thank you, everyone.